Illinois real estate exam property management questions. Question 1. During a first substantial discussion, Jamie asks Harper whether the brokerage represents the buyer, the seller, or both. Why should the relationship be clarified early during Hayden's Elgin single-family home file review? Option A. Agency and brokerage relationships affect duties, confidentiality, and the consumer's expectations. Option B. The relationship is irrelevant until after closing. Option C. A broker owes no duties until a deed is recorded. Option D. Agency disclosure is needed only for commercial leases. The correct answer is option A. Agency and brokerage relationships affect duties, confidentiality, and the consumer's expectations. Brokerage relationships determine duties such as disclosure, confidentiality, obedience to lawful instructions, and care. Waiting until closing, tying duties only to deed recording, or limiting disclosure concepts to commercial leases would leave the consumer without important relationship information. Question 2. A buyer and seller sign a purchase contract with competent parties, lawful purpose, mutual assent, consideration, and a sufficient property description. Why is the contract likely enforceable during Parker's normal 2-flat building file review? Option A. It is enforceable only if recorded before closing. Option B. It contains the core elements generally required for a valid real estate contract. Option C. It becomes a deed immediately when signed. Option D. It is void unless the broker drafted every paragraph. The correct answer is option B. It contains the core elements generally required for a valid real estate contract. A valid contract generally requires competent parties, mutual agreement, consideration, lawful purpose, and adequate written terms for real estate. Recording is not required for contract validity. A contract is not the same as a deed, and broker drafting is not the element that makes the contract enforceable. Question 3. A buyer obtains a loan of $273,800 on a property appraised at $370,000. Approximately what is the loan minus-to-minus value ratio during Reese's Carbondale condominium unit file review? Option A, 26%. Option B, 84%. Option C, 74%. Option D, 59%. The correct answer is option C, 74%. Loan minus-to-minus value is calculated by dividing the loan amount by the appraised value, $273,800 divided by $370,000, or about 74%. The other percentages confuse equity with LTV or use an incorrect numerator or denominator.
Stressed about your AccuPlacer exam? We can take AccuPlacer exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. A buyer asks about neighbors dislike a former occupant, but there is no physical defect or legal restriction affecting the property. Why may this be treated differently from a material defect during Alex's Galesburg townhome file review? Option A. Every rumor must be included in the deed. Option B. The broker must create a structural inspection report. Option C. The seller must lower the price by statute. Option D. Stigmatizing facts usually do not have the same disclosure treatment as physical or legal defects. The correct answer is option D. Stigmatizing facts usually do not have the same disclosure treatment as physical or legal defects. Stigmatized minus property issues generally differ from material physical defects or title/legal problems. Rumors do not belong in a deed. Brokers do not create structural inspection reports, and statutes do not automatically set a required price reduction for a stigma. Question 5. A closing file includes a quitclaim deed. Which distinction should an exam candidate focus on when comparing deed types during Blair's Moline small apartment building file review? Option A. The promises or warranties the grantor makes about title can differ by deed type. Option B. All deed types provide identical title warranties. Option C. A deed is the same document as a mortgage note. Option D. A deed never needs a grantor or grantee. The correct answer is option A. The promises or warranties the grantor makes about title can differ by deed type. Different deeds can provide different levels of title assurance, depending on the grantor's warranties. A deed is not a mortgage note, and valid deed analysis involves parties such as grantor and grantee as well as delivery and acceptance. Question 6. A borrower pays 3 discount points on a $250,000 loan. How much do the points cost? Option A, $3,750. Option B, $7,500. Option C, $2,500. Option D, $8,500. The correct answer is option B, $7,500. 1 discount point equals 1% of the loan amount, so 3 points cost 3% of $250,000, or $7,500. The other figures use too few points, only 1 point, or add an unsupported amount. Question 7. A buyer is reviewing required environmental paperwork involving mine subsidence information. Why are these disclosures commonly tested during Sydney's Waukegan vacant lot file review? Option A. They guarantee the property has no environmental condition. Option B. They replace the purchase contract entirely. Option C. They help buyers evaluate known or potential environmental risks before becoming bound to the transaction. Option D. They require the broker to perform engineering tests in every sale. The correct answer is option C. They help buyers evaluate known or potential environmental risks before becoming bound to the transaction. Environmental disclosure laws are designed to inform buyers about known or potential risks before or during the contracting process. They do not guarantee a problem-free property, replace the contract, or require brokers to perform technical engineering tests in every transaction. Question 8. 2 owners are comparing joint tenancy with other ownership forms. Which exam skill is being tested during Logan's Belleville rental duplex file review? Option A. Assuming all co-owners must have identical inheritance results. Option B. Treating a tenancy as a mortgage loan. Option C. Using the ownership form to avoid all property taxes. Option D. Recognizing how ownership rights, survivorship, and transferability may differ by estate or tenancy. The correct answer is option D. Recognizing how ownership rights, survivorship, and transferability may differ by estate or tenancy. Ownership forms can differ in survivorship rights, transferability, and the interests held by each party. They are not mortgage loans, do not guarantee identical inheritance outcomes, and do not eliminate property tax obligations. Are you looking for Illinois real estate exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access Illinois real estate exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get Illinois real estate exam answer key today. Question 9. Annual property taxes are $3,360, and the seller owes the buyer a credit for 118 days using a 365-day year. Approximately how large is the credit during Kendall's Chicago Lakefront Cottage file review? Option A, $1,086. Option B, $280. Option C, $9. Option D, $2,172. The correct answer is option A, $1,086. Daily proration divides $3,360 by 365 and multiplies by 118 days, giving about $1,086. The other choices use 1 month, 1 day only, or double the required prorated period. Question 10. Parker and Reese both claim the same earnest money after a failed Illinois purchase contract. How should the broker view disbursement during Harper's Springfield Suburban Ranch home file review? Option A. The broker may give the money to the latter party. Option B. The broker should follow the contract, written instructions, or lawful dispute-resolution process before releasing funds. Option C. The broker must always keep the money as commission. Option D. The buyer automatically receives the money regardless of contract terms. The correct answer is option B. The broker should follow the contract, written instructions, or lawful dispute-resolution process before releasing funds. Earnest money disputes require careful handling under the contract and applicable escrow rules. A broker cannot choose based on pressure, convert the money into commission without entitlement, or ignore the party's contract rights. Question 11. Several brokerages in Springfield agree to charge the same commission rate so no firm competes on price. Which violation is most likely being tested during Jamie's Peoria Commercial Suite file review? Option A. Valid comparative market analysis. Option B. Prioration. Option C. Price fixing. Option D. Easement by necessity. The correct answer is option C. Price fixing. An agreement among competitors to set commission rates is a classic price minus fixing concern under antitrust principles. A CMA estimates value, prioration divides expenses, and an easement by necessity concerns property access rather than broker competition. Question 12. A listing closes at $150,000 with a brokerage fee of 5.0%. What total commission is generated before any split? Option A, $3,750. Option B, $9,000. Option C, $1,500. Option D, $7,500. The correct answer is option D, $7,500. Commission is calculated by multiplying the sale price by the commission rate. $150,000 times 5% equals $7,500. The distractors divide the commission, use the wrong percentage, or calculate only 1% of the price. Question 13. An unlicensed assistant named Sydney is asked to explain offer terms to a buyer at an open house. Why is that risky during Jordan's Rockford single-family home file review? Option A. Explaining or negotiating transaction terms can cross into licensed activity. Option B. Unlicensed assistants may perform every brokerage task if unpaid. Option C. Only title companies need real estate licenses. Option D. Licensed supervision converts negotiation into clerical work. The correct answer is option A. Explaining or negotiating transaction terms can cross into licensed activity. Unlicensed assistants may perform clerical or administrative tasks, but explaining terms, negotiating, or advising consumers may require a license. Being unpaid, supervised, or involved with a title company does not transform licensed brokerage functions into purely clerical work. Question 14. An appraiser values a school with few comparable sales and limited rental data. Which approach may receive special attention during Casey's Bloomington 2-flat building file review? Option A. Income approach only. Option B. Cost approach. Option C. Gross rent multiplier only. Option D. Subdivision platting method. The correct answer is option B. Cost approach. The cost approach is often useful for new or special purpose properties when sales and income evidence are limited. The income approach and gross rent multiplier depend heavily on rental income, while subdivision platting is not a primary appraisal approach. Question 15. A seller receives $236,000 at closing, pays off a $84,000 mortgage, and pays $8,300 in seller closing costs. What are the approximate net proceeds during Morgan's Champaign condominium unit file review? Option A, $152,000. Option B, $227,700. Option C, $143,700. Option D, $92,300. The correct answer is option C, $143,700. Seller net proceeds subtract the loan payoff and seller costs from the sale price. $236,000 minus $84,000 minus $8,300 equals $143,700. The other answers omit one deduction or add deductions instead of subtracting them from the sale price. Question 16. Cameron signs an exclusive brokerage agreement and expects the broker to present offers and assist with negotiations. Which Illinois topic does this resemble during Taylor's Joliet Townhome file review? Option A. A deed restriction created by neighbors. Option B. A mortgage acceleration clause. Option C. A tax appeal before the assessor. Option D. A minimum services and duties under brokerage agreements. The correct answer is option D. Minimum services and duties under brokerage agreements. Illinois state minus specific outlines test brokerage agreements, exclusive agreements, and minimum services. Deed restrictions, mortgage acceleration, and tax appeals involve different legal concepts rather than brokerage minus service duties. Question 17. A property manager receives a residential tenant's security deposit from Parker. How should the funds be treated for licensing minus exam purposes during Riley's Aurora small apartment building file review? Option A. Handle the deposit as money belonging to another party and account for it properly. Option B. Spend it immediately as management profit. Option C. Treat it as the broker's personal emergency fund. Option D. Refuse to keep any written record of the deposit. The correct answer is option A. Handle the deposit as money belonging to another party and account for it properly. Security deposits are funds connected to the landlord minus tenant relationship and must be handled with proper accounting and legal care. Treating them as immediate profit, personal funds, or undocumented cash would create serious compliance issues. Question 18. A managing broker supervising Taylor discovers repeated advertising and trust minus account mistakes. Which responsibility is most directly involved during Avery's Evanston mixed minus use storefront file review? Option A. Recording deeds for every buyer. Option B. Supervision of sponsored licensees and brokerage compliance systems. Option C. Issuing building permits. Option D. Approving zoning variances. The correct answer is option B. Supervision of sponsored licensees and brokerage compliance systems. Managing and sponsoring brokers are responsible for supervision, training, and compliance controls for sponsored licensees. Recording deeds, issuing permits, and approving zoning variances are handled by other parties or government offices. Stressed about your Illinois real estate exam? We can take Illinois real estate exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. The same brokerage may work with both Sydney and Logan in one transaction. Why must dual or designated agency issues be handled carefully during Cameron's Oak Park vacant lot file review? Option A. They automatically cancel every contract. Option B. They eliminate all broker duties. Option C. They can affect consent, confidentiality, and the duties owed to each party. Option D. They require the buyer and seller to use the same attorney. The correct answer is option C. They can affect consent, confidentiality, and the duties owed to each party. Representing or assisting both sides can create consent and confidentiality issues that must be handled according to law and brokerage policy. It does not automatically cancel contracts, eliminate duties, or force the parties to share legal counsel. Question 20. A brokerage wants to operate a virtual office location for Illinois consumers. Which compliance focus best fits the licensing outline during Drew's Decatur rental duplex file review? Option A. Avoiding all broker supervision because the office is online. Option B. Replacing written brokerage agreements with website clicks only. Option C. Advertising as an unlicensed technology company. Option D. Registration, supervision, and public minus facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. The correct answer is option D. Registration, supervision, and public minus facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Virtual or branch operations still require appropriate brokerage supervision and compliance with licensing rules. Being online does not remove supervision, written minus agreement, licensing, or advertising requirements. Question 21. A driveway crosses one parcel so a neighboring parcel can reach the road. Which property concept is most likely involved during Hayden's Elgin Lakefront Cottage file review? Option A. Easement. Option B. Fixture. Option C. Novation. Option D. Defeasance clause. The correct answer is option A. Easement. An easement gives a right to use another's land for a specific purpose, such as access. A fixture is attached property. Novation substitutes a contract party or obligation, and a defeasance clause relates to mortgage satisfaction. Question 22. A licensee knowingly misrepresents a material fact to induce a buyer to sign. Which licensing consequence is most relevant during Parker's normal suburban ranch home file review? Option A, automatic zoning approval. Option B, disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. Option C, a mandatory title insurance payout. Option D, a tax prioration credit only. The correct answer is option B, disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. Knowing misrepresentation can trigger discipline because it harms consumers and violates professional standards. Zoning approval, title insurance payout, and tax prioration are unrelated remedies for this licensing misconduct. Question 23. A homeowner challenges the assessed value used for property taxes. Which concept is being examined during Reese's Carbondale Commercial Suite file review? Option A, agency termination by death. Option B, a leasehold surrender. Option C, the assessment and property tax valuation process. Option D, escrow disbursement only. The correct answer is option C, assessment and property tax valuation process. Property tax questions often focus on assessed value, tax rates, exemptions, and appeal procedures. Agency termination, lease surrender, and escrow disbursement are separate real estate topics. Question 24. A candidate is planning the broker exam schedule and wants to understand the Illinois minus specific portion. How is the state portion commonly structured in the current SI bulletin during Alex's Galesburg farm parcel file review? Option A, 100 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 70% passing score. Option B, 50 questions with 120 minutes allowed and a 74% passing score. Option C, 90 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. Option D, 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The correct answer is option D, 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The Illinois broker exam has a separate state portion listed as 40 scored points, 90 minutes, and a 75% passing score. The 100 minus question 150 minus minute format describes the national broker portion. The 50 minus question 120 minus minute option reflects residential leasing, and the 90 minus question format applies to a different examination category. Question 25. A brokerage wants to operate a virtual office location for Illinois consumers. Which compliance focus best fits the licensing outline during Blair's Moline single-family home file review? Option A, registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Option B, avoiding all broker supervision because the office is online. Option C, replacing written brokerage agreements with website clicks only. Option D, advertising as an unlicensed technology company. The correct answer is option A, registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Virtual or branch operations still require appropriate brokerage supervision and compliance with licensing rules. Being online does not remove supervision, written-agreement, licensing, or advertising requirements.